And 4 Boston police officers are injured after a pro-Palestine protest turned violent. Witnesses say chaos broke out when protesters ran into officers in Boston Common last night. Police say the demonstrators sprayed red smoke into the air, blocked traffic, and assaulted officers. Now at least 13 arrested protesters are scheduled to appear in court today. ABC's chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky has more. Hi, Aaron. What's the latest?
Diane, we're waiting to find out the charges for these demonstrators, but they were marking 2 years since the Hamas attack on Israel, and it unleashed this as yet unending war. And these clashes took place in Boston. 13 pro-Palestinian demonstrators were arrested. Several officers were injured. A march from Boston Common called Students for Justice for Palestine spilled into the street, blocking traffic. The crowd was waving Palestinian flags. They were throwing that red-colored powder into the air. Police said protesters turned on them, kicking a marked cruiser, setting off smoke flares, assaulting officers. A couple of the officers had to be taken to the hospital. They had broken bones. Police used bikes, as you see there, to try to block the crowd, and they were arresting demonstrators there on the ground. Here in New York, two protesters were arrested outside the Israeli consulate. And elsewhere in the city, there were dueling protests, one accusing Israel of loving war, the other calling for the release of Israeli hostages. But that demonstration, although it was loud and there was chanting at one another across the street on 6th Avenue, that stayed largely peaceful. And there was a sit-in in Central Park, mainly calling for peace. And that was a more subdued way, Diane, to mark this as yet unending war.
All right, Aaron Katersky, thank you.